Good morning. It is Charles Van Morgan. It's the Charles Van Morgan Show, unbridled news. We talk about interesting topics. And today, as you see the picture of the Grim Reaper on the picture icon, we're going to talk about the subject of death, a topic that people don't like to talk about. So, good morning, Charles Van Morgan Show. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come on in. And thank y'all for joining me. We'll give a second for people to come on in. Today's show, we are going to talk about death. And let's turn this around. And thank you for joining. So this morning, we're going to talk about the topic that nobody wants to talk about, the topic of death and how it relates to the government, people in government power, and how they cause death and destruction. So, a topic that a lot of people won't deal with, because if you talk about the government in a bad light, they come after you. And so, you got to do what you got to do, and I take measures to protect myself. But you won't hear this. You won't hear this anywhere else. It's the Charles Van Morgan Show, unbridled. I don't have a bit in my mouth to tell me what to say, and I'm uncontrolled by people in government power. The only thing I'm controlled by is the First Amendment, and of course I obey defamation laws. But come on in, welcome to this show. You won't hear this stuff anywhere else. You won't hear unbridled truth like you'll hear on the Charles Van Morgan Show. I have a doctor of jurisprudence. I got a law degree. I passed the bar twice, so I know where the lines of defamation are, and I know how to stay on this side of the line. And it's not defamation. Remember this, it's not defamation if it's true. And remember this, they can defame you all they want to. People in government power can defame the hell out of you. They can say false stuff about you because they have absolute immunity. Isn't that nice to have, where you could slaughter somebody's character, say any heinous, crooked, evil, deceitful, corrupt thing about them to destroy them, their character, their reputation. In effect, death. In effect, death of that person. There's more than one way to kill somebody, because you have controls of the law, and you have controls of the court and judges, and in judicial proceedings, it is privileged where they can defame you. They can defame you, they can lie about you, and you can't sue them for defamation. So that is a form of murder, a form of them killing you, which is the topic of today's conversation about death, about murder. And we're going to talk about how the government murders you. You won't hear that anywhere else. I have a doctor of jurisprudence, passed the bar twice. I'm not a lawyer because I'm truthful, and I won't back up a corrupt system. I will stand for public safety. I have a Master of Arts in Criminology with a Master of Arts in Criminology with a Master of Arts in Sociology with an emphasis in criminology, and a bachelor's degree in business, and also associate degree in business, emphasis in human resource management. So I know what I'm talking about. I've studied it. And also, the most important thing, like a lot of you, most of my fans, a lot of them, and younger people, please listen to me too. I was young once too. I know what you go through. But the difference between me and you is I have been young. That's both of us have. But I have been old. I'm not that old, but you haven't been old yet. So I've learned a few things, like many of you all. The greatest life lessons is through experience and living and seeing how things really work. You can learn a lot from a book, and you can read older people's books and learn what they've learned. It's an excellent way to learn. But the really way to really get real knowledge and a real education is if you live through stuff. And sometimes it's better not to have to live through things that other people have lived through, like the Holocaust. I'd rather read what people experience than have to live through that. But we cannot know exactly what they experienced. We can read and feel unless we were there, and we can't be there. But we can empathize with them. So we're going to talk about death. And we're in the land of the living now. If you're listening to this, we haven't experienced death yet. So we are in good shape for the day. There ain't no guarantees. But we're gonna explore the topic of death. It's coming for everybody. You know, they say, which is true, the only thing that's guaranteed is death and taxes. Well, I think tax is a little more guaranteed than death, because if you're a follower of Jesus Christ and you believe in the second coming of Jesus Christ and you believe in the rapture of the church, then death is not guaranteed for everyone, because people that will be raptured in the Christian faith, which I subscribe to, will be the only ones that won't have to experience death. And there are a few people, I think about 3 people in the Bible, that didn't have to experience death. And they were called up to God that they didn't die. Obviously, they were changed, because people in their mortal bodies can't appear before God. So, but people that are raptured will be changed. They won't have to die. And this could be the only generation of all times, all histories, that have ever lived. This generation of people that are alive now, there's different generations in this generation, that don't have to experience death if we are raptured in this generation. I happen to personally believe that is a high probability because of predictions, prophecy in the Bible. But this conversation is not just about religious beliefs. It is my overall arching theme of death and how the government causes death, but we still have hope. So come on in, Charles Van Morgan Show. We're broadcasting in the morning. We may show up anytime to do news on the ground. The only way you can really experience what's going on, really know what's going on, is not by listening to the news and not by necessarily listening to me. I've got a lot of life experience, but it's boots on the ground where the action's alive happening. If you want to know what it's like to experience something, go there and do it. If it's dangerous, I wouldn't recommend it. I wouldn't recommend skydiving. If you want to know what it's like to skydive, you could go and do it. I could read a book about it, but the only way to know what's really going on in the news is to go there and talk to real people on the scene. And that's what we'll be doing on Unbridled News. We'll talk to people on the scene. Now, there is a protest coming up on Market Square, I think tomorrow about 6 o'clock. Now, we're going to probably show up on the scene and talk to some people there and see what's going on, if they'll talk to us. Not just listen to what the news say. Try to talk to some of the protesters. Why are you here? What are you doing? What are you protesting? What are you seeking to resolve? What is your hope? Why are you here for? And just talk to them and try to listen. And I happen to personally not give too much credence to protest, because I think that you should go vote and put your sign down and go to the polls and vote people into office. And protesting does bring public awareness, but maybe your sign shouldn't say no pipeline. Maybe it should say go vote for somebody that's gonna outrule a pipeline, because you're getting beat at the polls. So that's just my perspective. So we're going to talk to people on the ground and see what's going on. So we may do that tomorrow. We may pop up anywhere all over the state to find out what's going on. Depending on funding, if we get resources, we'll go wherever to do unbridled news. And we're going to tell the truth about it. You won't hear the pure, undoctored truth from anybody else, except for what you hear on the Charles Van Morgan show. And you won't hear the truth anywhere else, except for coming from me and the education that I have to back up what I'm saying. So today's overarching theme is the subject that nobody wants to talk about, is death. And we're going to talk about how the government institutes policies and programs and different philosophies and the way they go about their business that kills Tennesseans. It literally kills Tennesseans. And what I'm doing about it, and what I want to encourage you to do about it. And I'll just go straight to it. Go vote. And today you can vote. You can vote. I would recommend to go vote. And I would recommend here in the city of Knoxville to vote down the tax increase and vote for Becky Jones as the best candidate for South Knoxville. And I'm not gonna speak about any of the other candidates. Pretty much, I don't have a lot of respect for any of them. Some of them I do, but there's some other good choices. But in South Knoxville, I would recommend go vote for Becky Jones today. She doesn't have much of a chance of winning, just to be honest with you. She didn't win the number one primary it was about 330 to about 900. So she's behind several hundred votes. So if you want any chance of not getting a tax increase, go vote down the tax. If you want any chance of some type of sanity where we have more conservative values as far as roads opened up, conservative values where the government is under reins and they don't just get to run wild and do whatever they want to do, some values as far as helping the economy, then go vote for Becky Jones. I hope she wins. If you go vote for her, call her and tell her you voted for her because I suggested you did. So I ran because of the ditch they got me in because of defamation, privilege defamation. I had a hard time getting votes, but we haven't quit, and they're not stopping us. We got a few more votes from the last time, and we'll keep gaining ground, and that's what it's all about, gaining ground. We don't have to score a touchdown every time. Get 2 or 3 yards, move forward, and we're on the move forward. So that's what fighters do. When they get knocked down, they wait. They might wait for the count, but get up on 7 and stand up and continue the fight. So we've been punched pretty hard, but we're still in the fight, and we're not going anywhere. And we're in it real good right now because we have surpassed 900,000 views on YouTube. So we're getting the word out, regardless of what they say. And thank you all so much. I appreciate it for viewing the show. We got an interesting topic today. Stand by and listen. We're talking about death, a subject nobody wants to talk about. And I promise you it'll be pretty interesting. I think it is anyway. And I got a good sound mind and a lot of courage, despite lunatic opposition. So we're going to tell you my take on death from a sociological point of view, a practical point of view, and a life lesson point of view. So let's see how many people we got in here, and we'll start off by showing you the campaign sign that I passed out all over the state of Tennessee, which talks about death. And you say, well, maybe that's not a good thing to run on, but it is too, because it's about stopping it. It's against the government because they caused death. So here's the sign. It says, Tennessee government crimes caused hundreds to get killed. Tennessee government crimes caused hundreds to get killed. So that's about death, isn't it? So I ran for governor of the great state of Tennessee. Not the great people in government power in Tennessee, they're crooks. In 2022, and passed out flyers, propaganda, truthful propaganda, all over the state of Tennessee about death. How the Tennessee government caused death all over the state of Tennessee, caused hundreds of people to get killed. That's a blanket statement. What's some facts behind that? How the Tennessee government caused death. They caused you to get killed. They're gluttons. They even endangered themselves. And we got a few other things to say about the subject of death, because it's a positive thing. Positive thing about it, when I used to work wrecks, I worked with the Highway Patrol and worked with UT police, and I seen a lot of death and destruction and sorrow up close and personal. When I worked my first couple of fatal wrecks with Highway Patrol, I remember I'd come home and I couldn't eat. It affected me so much. It's surreal. It's not like you read in the paper where you read so-and-so got killed in a drunk driving wreck, or so-and-so child got killed, and you read about it and you're sad, and you might read their names and the family and how sad they are, and they might even show the mother or father, which is very disheartening, and it's upsetting. But when you're at the scene, you put it together how it happened, and it lets you know how fragile life is. Very fragile. People think everything's secure and you're going to be here tomorrow. You may not. You may not. And one way you may not be is get out on a Tennessee roadway. They're dangerous as hell. More dangerous now than they ever have been, because of Tennessee government. The people in power in Tennessee government have made your roads more dangerous, even for their dumb selves. Even their dumb selves. They're so drunk on power that they have created an environment, and they should create an environment of safety, that they have created an environment where, as the sign says, they cause hundreds to get killed on the roadways in the state of Tennessee. And the way they've done that is through not enforcing drunk driving laws, and also not creating institutions where people that promote safety get promoted so that they can teach other people safety, and creating that environment to cause a lot of people to get killed on the roads in Tennessee. The fatality rate when I was a Tennessee State Trooper was under 1,000 people were killed in 2011, and the fatality rate was on the way down, because statistics that the number one way, and research says that the number one way to keep the road safe, and this is one way, but the Tennessee government and governments cause death. The number one way to lower traffic fatalities is through enforcement of drunk driving laws. It has been shown, Scandinavia, Australia, New Zealand studies, time studies, that when there's heavy enforcement of drunk driving laws, irrespective of the severity of the criminal punishment, when there's general and specific deterrence, specific deterrence is you get one driver out of the car, put him in jail, safety of them, safety of other people. General deterrence is people hear about that arrest. So somebody says, hey, I got arrested, I was drunk driving. Or when a trooper drives through a bar parking lot, hey, we're out here, and they know that other people got arrested. Then you see taxis start showing up. That's general deterrence. So when a city, county, or state doesn't enforce drunk driving laws, or does what they did to me, it increases the fatality rate. The fatality rate, since I was on the road, has increased 45% more bodies. And it's easy to calculate. It's a statistic that can't be manipulated because of the fact that you're counting bodies. 1 body, 2 body, 3 body, 4 bodies. It's hard to manipulate bodies. Other scientific studies are a little bit more difficult to calculate, but the number of drunk drivers, the number of people killed on Tennessee roadways is easy to calculate, because this person died in a driver of a car, 1 dead, and they checked their blood, alcohol in their blood. Or this person was in a vehicle that was hit by this person, and that person that hit them had alcohol in their blood. So that's a pretty good. We're on our way to the bridge. If you haven't joined me before, that's a pretty good, accurate count, undeniably, of the number of people killed on Tennessee roadways. So what they did to me, I led the state because I cared about people's lives. I've seen little children dead in car wrecks from drunk drivers. I've seen up close and personal, seen how it happened. It has a dramatic effect on you. And you wish that you could do something about it, but death is final. You can't do nothing about it. Not anything you can do about it. The only thing you can do about it is use your equipment that you got, your blue light siren, your law enforcement commission, to go out and aggressively seek to arrest people who are drunk before they have a fatal wreck. And seeing fatal wrecks just reinforce that to me, that, hey, I wish I'd have got this one ahead of time. Other troopers, evidently, they're dumb as a doorknob, a lot of them, or they don't put it together, or even worse, which is, I think, the reason, they don't care. They don't care. As long as they're 6 foot above ground, they don't care. And that's the way it is in people in power. As long as they don't get hit by a drunk driver, people in government power, they don't care. The governor of the state of Tennessee, the Christian fine man that he is, forget about all the transvestite stuff, the pictures, that never happened. Yeah, right. He doesn't care if you get hit by a drunk driver. He really doesn't. He says he does, and he's a very good chameleon that acts like he does, but he doesn't. You know why? Because if he did, he would institute policies that people would enforce the drunk driving laws, not just increase penalties, because penalties statistically do not decrease people getting killed on Tennessee roadways, because you can get harsher and harsher, and the harsher you get, the more money goes to the government. So they want harsher penalties. The notable prize accomplishment of the former liar and perjurer and criminal Tracy Trotz was an increase in a fine. I mean, he didn't lower the fatality rates, he raised them, and he increased a fine, not increasing penalties. He even fired somebody that was enforcing the law several times, increasing penalties. So he doesn't care about whether or not you get killed by enforcing the law by specific deterrence. They care about getting money, getting your money, increasing penalties. They continue to increase penalties for DUI. They've increased them. They're increasing this year. They're turning it into a felony where you have to pay more money to get out of it. And they don't care. They got money to pay for that. Rich people got a lot of money to pay to get out of their drunk driving felonies. Poor people, it'll stick. So and it won't decrease drunk driving fatalities. Science has shown through counting the numbers that if you increase the penalties. You make it more harsh. You make them do more prison time. You make them pay more fines, more costs. That they're still, the fatality rate continues to go up. Science has shown through time studies in other countries, which applies to the United States, we have roads, we have drunk drivers, is that the way to decrease drunk driving and the way to decrease people getting dead where your family will come home is to arrest drunk drivers, to get them out of the car, put them under arrest, take them to jail. That's the best way. Increasing penalties, making them serve more time in jail, increasing the charge to a felony, it's not going to do a damn bit of good. And when they institute policies that stop people that take me off the street and defame people that are doing their jobs and show other people that it doesn't do any good to do your job. It's who your daddy is. I mean, compare me to Matt Perry. How many drunk driving arrests he make? He didn't have to make any drunk driving arrests. He's related to a former Supreme Court justice, and his daddy used to be a captain. So it's not about public safety. It's about people in power, maintaining the power. So that's the way they cause people to get killed on the roadways. Is they defamed me and took the leading trooper in DUI arrest off the road. They promote troopers not based on their job performance protecting you, based on who they know. So that's a policy in the government that has caused people to get killed. Now, one way to combat that is to put out truthful information that it shines a light on their exploitation of you. The Tennessee government causes hundreds of people to get killed on the roadways. There have been in the past this year, the sheriff's department used to have a DUI detection unit. Why don't they have one anymore? They should. They had a deputy, and this picture of it's not shown. This angle's not shown. It's all sympathy for the police officer, and he's got public attention. Got a lot of people helping him pay his medical bills, which is good. That's good. But other people that aren't police officers that drive down the roads that he's supposed to protect, they don't have all that he's got. So he's privileged, and I hate that there's a Knox County Sheriff's deputy, and my heart goes out to him. He's a drunk driver ran into him, and he's having to amputate his leg, which is sad. But you won't hear this side of it. Just look at this side, the side they don't want you to hear, the side everybody's afraid to tell because they're afraid of the sheriff's department. And let me tell you, sheriff's deputies, there's a First Amendment, okay? You got a right to stand up and say whatever you want to against me. Go right ahead. Everybody already has lied. If you want to get up and lie some more, go right ahead. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't matter, because what I care about is public safety. I care about people getting killed on the roadways. I don't, I'm not going to worship policemen, and because people worship policemen because they think they'll get out of tickets, and the hoster sniffers. Look, how about policemen are public servants? They're not lords, and they ought to serve the public. And when they create an environment that causes other people to get hurt and them to get hurt, maybe they should do a better job than what they do. So there's a sheriff's deputy that got hit by a drunk driver. Now, sheriff's deputies, unlike me or you, have the ability to arrest drunk drivers. So the more drunk drivers they arrest, the less likely it is for them to get hit. So maybe if they don't want to get hit by drunk drivers and lose their lives or lose their legs, then maybe, honestly, you won't hear this anywhere else, people are afraid of deputies. Then maybe, and I'm not, I'm telling you I'm not, liberty or death. Ain't nothing worth dying for, but I got a right to speak out the truth. Maybe they should be out here arresting drunk drivers instead of boo-hooing about what happened because they're not doing their damn jobs. Because I know they're not doing their damn jobs. When I was a state trooper, see, I got inside information. When I was a state trooper, I'd be in another county arresting drunk drivers, and a Knox County Sheriff's deputy would call me all the way from another county. I had about 3 counties I had to work. All the way from another county to come and work a wreck. in Knoxville where they had somebody drunk. They didn't want to do the paperwork. And I remember I got out on a wreck on it's not defamation if it's true. They called me all the way, it took me, I was all the way up in Union County. It took me a long time to get all the way to John Sevier Highway back in 2011. I think it was 2010, 2011. Took me about an hour to get there. So a Knox County Sheriff's deputy sits there on John Sevier Highway with an ink pen and a Tennessee Uniform Wreck Report and calls me all the way from another county to work a wreck while he's sitting there in his car waiting for me to get there. When he can work a wreck. He could do the same thing I did. But I'm glad he didn't, because it's one thing to call me an hour to work a wreck. I didn't mind. I'll go do my job. I just, when you get there, you just think, well, you waited an hour sitting in your car. I hope you were comfortable, getting paid buku bucks by Knox County taxpayers. I could have been arresting a drunk driver. Why didn't you work it? I hope you're comfortable, And so I started working the wreck, talked to the lady, and here's what happened real time. I'm just telling you from experience, Knox County Sheriff's Department. And now they're getting hit by drunk drivers. Boo-hoo-hoo, well, do your job. A little kid gets their leg amputated. They had nothing to do with it. They can't stop it. Knox County Sheriff's Department has all the ability, blue light, siren, everything. They do a hell of a lot about it. So if they get hit by one, maybe, just maybe, statistically, they're not doing their damn job. So you get them on the front end, where they hit you in your car and you lose your leg. And I'm just telling you the truth. People can say whatever you want to. You can hate on me all you want to. I know the truth. Do your damn job. Don't whine after the fact. You can get them on the front end where they hit you in the leg and put you in the hospital where your leg's amputated. Or the back end, which I call the back end, where you can get them before they hit you. So, I'm just saying, I know that's not popular, but that's the damn truth. Let's look at things the other way. A Knox County Sheriff's deputy has the ability, has the law enforcement, has a commission, has a blue lights in a car to go out and aggressively get these people off the road. The more you get off the road, the less there is out there. That's a fact. It's science. It's not something I'm making up. And I'm not being difficult on them, because let me finish my story. So I went out there. It took me an hour to get there to a wreck on John Sevier Highway. This is an event I lived through. I've seen it close up and personal. Lazy Knox County deputies. They are. A lot of them are. I don't know. There's some good ones, but a lot of them are lazy. And some of them I don't blame for not enforcing law, because the sheriff won't stand behind you. The fine Christian backer of the Republican Party, he might not stand behind you. Let me just tell you what happened. Let me see how many people I got on here. Thank you all for joining me. So I'm just telling you some real life experiences. You won't hear this anywhere else. Charles Van Morgan Show. I live in Knox County. Stand up against Knox County deputies. I got a right to say that. They don't have a right to hurt me. They can disagree with me all you want to. Go ahead. They already have. I don't care. They protected a rapist in the Knox County courthouse. So, I'm just saying, I'm not afraid of them. I stand up for what's right. I stand up for the truth. Unbridled news. Let me see how many people got in here. So if you want to hear this alarming story about how the government kills people, then stay tuned. It's the truth, unbridled from an educated perspective. Let's see what we got in here. So yeah, we got 102. So we'll continue this little story of, will the real Knox County police stand up? Citizens have the right to intervene during unlawful acts as well. Just saying, go take the keys yourself. Go take the keys yourself, old man. Why? I don't have to do that. Also, legally, if you have a JD like I do, you probably shouldn't do that. You're responsible for yourself and your family. You pay your tax money for other people to do that. And if you take the keys from somebody, you're liable to find yourself hurt or killed. That's not your responsibility. You're not trained to do that. So that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Have vigilantism out here. So, and besides that, how do you know somebody's drunk? Might be experiencing a medical problem or something. Don't intervene in that kind of stuff yourself. I'm telling you, as somebody that's got a doctor of jurisprudence and a master of arts in sociology, call law enforcement, 911. If something like that's going on, you intervene yourself, you're liable to get yourself killed. Take off that tin full hat. Okay. This guy is such a leftist. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm a educated, life-lived person that's got some education. You could be comparing to stand in the lots and collect those keys. Yeah. No, I wouldn't. I could get killed that way, idiots. Well, y'all are so foolish. Some of that you're thinking. How about law enforcement that's supposed to do that job? How about law enforcement that's supposed to do that job? Why should I have to be out when I got to make a living, when I'm a journalist, when I can report on that and expose a light on that and get deputies or get them fired or get a sheriff that will enforce the law? Why should I be a vigilante? I mean, you can't take the keys away from somebody because that's stealing. How do you know they're drunk? What if they just stumbled? You're not a professional. You don't have the right to stop people. So, and I guess there are far out cases where you could, but I wouldn't if I was you. I certainly wouldn't because it's not your responsibility. You're not in the government. It's not your responsibility to do that. Now, you report it to 911. So I had to travel an hour to a Knox County deputies, called in a wreck where he was dispatched to a wreck, and they dispatched me to him because he didn't want to work it. So I got there on the scene, and a lady, this is a real event, it really took place. I'm not speaking secondhand, real news on the ground. I've seen it with my own eyes. And people call me a liar, go ahead, they have. You know, I don't care. There's a lot of people that believe me. So, and we're just speaking about a deputy that got hurt. Boo-hoo-hoo, you know, and I am sad for him. And maybe it wasn't his responsibility, but as a whole, the sheriff's department creates an environment in Knox County where they're likely to get killed. Either they're stupid, they don't put two and two together, or the sheriff won't let them, and they know and they just don't care, which is even worse. So I think they just don't care, is what I think. But I got there to the wreck, and a lady on a straight road went off the road and slammed into a tree and broke the passenger's arm. And you know, on a curve or something, it might be, you know, she went off a curve, but why would somebody go off a straight road? Either they're drunk or an argument or a high rate of speed. That doesn't make sense. The likelihood, and especially on Friday or Saturday night, the likelihood, odds say, that most wrecks on Friday or Saturday night are caused by drunk drivers. So if you're a police officer and you're dispatched to a wreck on Friday or Saturday night, especially between certain hours like 6 to about 5 in the morning, it's likely a drunk driver that's had that wreck. So you ought to be aware, and most of them are, they just don't care, that you're probably dealing with a drunk driver. I worked wrecks on Friday and Saturday night. It was very unusual, very rare, and I was surprised when it wasn't a drunk driver. And if it was, I did my job and arrested him. But anyway, I got to that wreck, and the deputy sitting in his car, he got out of his car when I got there. So I got my wreck report out and put it on the hood, and I was talking to the lady, asked her what happened, and she was pretty incoherent. And so tried to get what happened out of her, and her boyfriend was already gone in the ambulance, broke his arm. So I started giving her a sobriety test, and the deputy intervened. He called me there to work the wreck and intervened. He said, no, I've already given a sobriety test. So being an astute trooper and not somebody wanting to be used and wrongly influenced by another officer that was all warm and comfortable that waited for me to get there for an hour, I handed him my wreck report. So here you go. And he said, what? And I said, well, if you want to put on the wreck report that she wasn't drunk, if you don't think, then go ahead, you do the wreck. If you want me to work the wreck, you called me here to do the wreck, then I got to decide that for myself, because I'm the one that writes that, and I'm not going to lie on the report. So you want to do that? No, of course he didn't want to do the wreck. Lazy, didn't want to do the wreck report, and didn't want her to be arrested for some reason. I don't know why. I started giving her a standardized field sobriety test. It's the horizontal gaze nystagmus the walk and turn and the one-leg stand test that I did hundreds of times. That I did hundreds of times a year, several times throughout a shift. I mean, if you give enough people the test, you'll find enough people that are drunk, that are really drunk, not like they're doing today, where they're arresting sober people. So he agreed he didn't want to work the wreck, so I gave her a sobriety test. She was very drunk. It was obvious. It wasn't even close, and she even admitted to drinking. It was obvious that she was drunk. So I arrested her for drunk driving and commenced filling out the paperwork. And then all of a sudden, she started saying that she was dizzy and her head was hurting her real bad. So she needed an ambulance. So I asked her, do you need an ambulance? Yeah, I need an ambulance. So she's under arrest in the back seat of the car, but unlike some Knoxville police officers, some, not all, I'm not a dumbass. Somebody saying they're needing an ambulance, and she was involved in a bad wreck. Now, that's probably a ploy. May have been. I don't know. She was fine until she was under arrest, right? But I'm not a medical professional. I don't know, and I'm not trumping. I'm not a medical doctor, although I'm a legal doctor now. Like the Knoxville Police Department decided that they were medical doctors and took somebody away from the hospital that said they needed to see a doctor. And she died in the back seat of the car. I mean, be as arrogant as you want to be. I don't want a dead body in the back seat of my car because I wasn't qualified to determine if somebody needed medical care. And medical care trumps law enforcement. You can let them have their medical care and put them in jail after they're well, or you can't prosecute a dead body. I mean, I know this Attorney General down here, this sick Charmin Tissue Allen would like to prosecute you. Dead people. She don't prosecute people for committing crimes. She prosecutes people and abuses people that try to get her out of office through the voting booth. Just like prosecutors in the state of Tennessee, how dirty they are. The system is broke for us. But I called an ambulance. She went to the hospital. She was drunk. Her blood came back over the limit. A felony DUI. Because she had broke somebody's arm. That the Knox County Sheriff's deputy was going to let her go home and without even a slap on the wrist. Without even a slap on the wrist. There's a fan. And when you don't even say, hey, you did this, it was wrong, you went off the road and hurt somebody, she'll be back out the next day. Driving drunk. No penalty. I mean, not even specific deterrence. No deterrence at all. And even broke somebody's arm. So they broke a deputy's leg. Maybe they need to get out here, get out of their patrol cars, start stopping people enforcing drunk driving laws. Now, there's some of them that do, very few. And in a way, I understand because they won't back you up. Something bad happens. If you're around drunk drivers, they kill themselves. They kill other people. You're drunk. You're not in your right mind. You're not in control. Bad stuff happens. You fall down. You crash. So if you're around those people, like you should be if you're in law enforcement, you should be in harm's way to protect the public. Bad stuff's going to happen, and you're not responsible for it. It's going to happen without you there. The best you can do is get in there and try to save as many lives as you can, but bad's going to happen. So if you're not doing your job, you're going to be squeaky clean, ain't you? Going to be squeaky clean colonel of the Highway Patrol. What a dirtbag that lying piece of crap is. I went to the academy with that dirtbag. What a coward he is. Protected, coddled. When we were in the academy, he didn't even get sprayed with chemical spray. The class I went to before when I was in commercial enforcement, everybody got sprayed with chemical spray because they said they wanted you to know what it felt like in case you're out fighting with somebody and you get chemical spray in your eye so you can fight through it. Evidently that didn't apply to him because his daddy was over the class. The whole class didn't get sprayed, so his boy wouldn't, or otherwise his boy would have been the only one not get sprayed. What a crybaby that is. Oh, I'm not letting my boy get sprayed with chemical spray. Coddled. maybe he needs to get sprayed with chemical spray. I'm not saying to do that, but he shouldn't be a law enforcement officer. He's not been through the training appropriately like everybody else. Shouldn't even be a law enforcement officer. So I'm just saying, you want to hear this anywhere else, Knox County deputies, get off your hind end, do your job. If a little kid had been hit, they wouldn't have all these charity organizations so willing to go out and help them and benefit them. So, and a deputy wouldn't even arrest somebody and try to intervene in the arrest of somebody. And then that same incident, she was sergeant then, rising through the ranks. She couldn't even give a sobriety test, couldn't stand on one leg, sober. Then Sergeant, crooked, drunk Stacy Heatherly, probably drunk on the job, I don't know. She's there's a sign that you're an alcoholic if you have problems on your job because of alcohol, and she's had problems on her job. It's been all in the newspaper. But she got wind of that. Wasn't even my supervisor. And she didn't like me because I made 150 drunk driving arrests a year. Average trooper makes 2. I was making them look bad. Clean up the roads. The fatality rate's going down. She didn't care about that. She cared about maybe getting promoted above her husband. Her husband's on the highway patrol. Imagine she's a major. Her husband works in the same area. Imagine complaining on her husband if her husband beats the hell out of you or shoots and kills one of your family members, and you complain to the highway patrol and you're complaining to his wife. Imagine that. Imagine Trooper Michael Heatherly shoots and kills one of your family members, or does something dirty or rigs a wreck. I think he's in some kind of where they have CID, the Crooked Investigation Division of the Highway Patrol. Imagine he works the wreck and puts you at fault because it's somebody in politics that has power. Put you at fault, and they'll do that. They damn sure will. They lie. If you think you got a just Tennessee Highway Patrol, you better think again. They'll put a light on where it's not, and they'll lie under oath. And if you think, well, a judge will get them, a prosecutor will get them for perjury, they'll add more lies to the fact. That's how dangerous these people are. That's how they get people killed on the roads. They lie. And then you complain about Michael Heatherly to the Highway Patrol when he sits on Major Heatherly's desk out there in Nashville. Yeah, she's going to take her husband's paycheck away from him. What a joke they are. Disgusting. And the joke's on you. They're living the high life. They don't care. And they're even dangerous to themselves. They don't even know. They think they're going to get by with stuff. Major Heatherly even got hit by a drunk driver herself. Boo-hoo-hoo. Oh, and she's a hero now because she got hit by a drunk driver. She created that environment to where she could get hit herself. You going down the road, you get hit by a drunk driver. You couldn't have done anything about that. That's not your responsibility. That's why you entrust her and her idiot husband to fairly enforce the law and tell the truth about things. But they created an environment, and they have the ability to stop that stuff. They created an environment, and the sheriff's department here, under the Christian sheriff, what a joke that is. Yeah, right. But, and he convinces people. Amen, brother. Yeah, we're on Jesus' side. Well, death all over the road here. That's not Jesus' side. And I'm looking around, is God's going to judge me because I don't stand up for the crooked sheriff and the dirty, no, God's not going to hit me with lightning. God's on my side. God's on the truth. He's on the truth side. And, but they create an environment because they're responsible for public safety. It's so dangerous, they get hit by themselves by drunk drivers. Get off your hind end, go arrest people for drunk driving. They got this thing out now. It's politically correct. And you'll see it on Facebook and YouTube. It's politically correct. It's great. The public loves it. Some of the stupid public. They're out here changing tires for people. Women that can change it themselves. Women ain't handicapped. They're capable of changing tires. I mean, women's lib, they can change tires. They got troopers out here changing tires for people while people driving by them drunk, killing kids down the street. They don't need to be changing tires for people. They need to be out well-trained enforcing the drunk driving laws so that Major Heatherly, I don't want her to get hit by a drunk driver. I really don't. I seriously don't. I feel bad about that. I don't want that deputy to be hit by a drunk driver. I really don't. That's why when I was a trooper, I arrested more people than any trooper in the state. Numbers don't lie, because I didn't want people to get killed. I didn't want death, and I didn't want injury due to drunk drivers. And the fact is, I damn sure did that. But they did another number on me. Not death by me getting hit by a drunk driver. A pretty damn good driver too. Almost got hit by several drunk drivers. I cleaned a lot of them off the road. But they did a murder by hire against me, a character assassination, which is the same trick. You assassinate, you murder somebody by assassinating their character through the unjust civil injustice system and the unjust criminal system. It's what they're trying to do to me now. But just ask yourself, who makes more sense? Me or them? And who's getting hit by drunk drivers? Me or them? I mean, I'm smart enough to stay out of the damn road, ain't I? So everybody's welcome. Come on in. Like, share, comment. Welcome. And thank y'all for showing up. So we've been on here almost an hour. And contribute to the show. Today's show is about death. We're talking about death. It's the Charles Van Morgan Show. Welcome. So this stuff you won't hear from anybody else. Everybody's worshiping the government. They're afraid of the people in government power. Unless you got a whole crowd behind you. You know, I'll stand on my own. David didn't have a bunch of people with him. They told him he couldn't do it. He didn't have the fancy equipment. He didn't have what he needed, but I got some rocks. Don't worry. I'm pretty damn good aim. I got awards, and I'm talking symbolically, but unsymbolically. But I got awards for my shooting ability to range. When I went to the firing range, there's a little hole about that big right in the center of my ass. So, and I got a right to self-defense. I got a right to defend my life. No county deputy's got a right to kill me. If you have an arrest warrant, tell me, I'll come with you peacefully. I won't fight, I won't do anything. If you try to kill me, I will defend myself. And I promise you, Knox County Sheriff and Knox County deputies, it won't work out well for you. It won't. I'm not afraid of you. You know, I'm 61. You want to send me to heaven? I don't want that. It might not be me that goes. Now, I'm not for violence. I'm just telling you. And I'm not asking, I'm telling you. Because under our form of government, I got a right to tell the government I'm on the sidewalk. I got a right to stand up against you, and I damn sure will. And that's what I'm doing on a public sidewalk. Leave me alone or else. You got that? Leave me alone or else. You don't like what I'm saying? Stand on the other side of the sidewalk and disagree with me. You try to hurt me, I'll stop you. You got that? This is your damn warning. And I'm not a toy. I'm not a toy. And so I'm just telling you the way it is. And so most of them are too afraid to mess with me anyway. But they have me as a coward. They got me down as a coward. That's a perception. While I'm trying to apprehend somebody, I'm going after somebody. I didn't run from anybody. Never have, except for one time, and I learned better when I was a kid. So I learned how to fight. I'm the only son of a widow. I didn't have a daddy to stand up for me, Matt Perry. My daddy didn't get me promoted. My daddy taught me how to fight your dumb ass. You low-life creep that's responsible for mass casualties all over the state while you get up and smile. You piece of dirt. You don't like what I'm saying, do you? You know, these rich people, and this is one of the reasons why I'm doing it, these rich people like Mr. Haslam, Mr. Bill Lee, You know, they got money, they built money, they stole money from you, is where they got their money from. They're concerned about their legacy. They want a legacy. They want to affect people after they're dead. They want their name to be put out in a good light. And that's why they might try to hurt me, is because I'm out here telling the truth about Mr. Haslam. Got his name on UT. Wants his name embedded in that university forever. I say we take it down. If I ever get in power over the state of Tennessee, that name comes down, or get somebody in power, his name comes off that damn building. I got a degree from that damn building where I learned what a dirtbag he is, how he got his money. So I'm trying to, almost 1 million people, to damage, put a dent in his lie that he's a good person. He's not, he's not a good person. He's a creep, he's a liar, he's a thief, he stole from you, he steps over bodies, he's a power monger, and people think he's a Republican. Did you know he spoke out against Donald Trump in the 2015 when he was about to get elected in 2016? Trying to act like he knows more than millions of people across the United States, millions of Republicans across the United States that voted for Donald Trump to be the Republican nominee. And this is Haslam, the death monster, because he's the one that fired me, took my job, and raised the fatality rate. That's how arrogant that low-life creep is, and that doesn't know. You know, people know how to fight you, boy. And it's with something called, that you'll never have, it's called the truth. I don't have $1 million propagandists. I got a cell phone and something you won't never have, it's called the truth. And I got the Constitution. If you try to violate that, I'll defend it. So he won't do it, he'll send one of his cronies out here. He's a scumbag. But he spoke out. Millions of people went to the polls. They knew about Donald Trump, knew everything about him. They turn every stone when you're running for public office. True or not true. And people knew, and millions of people elected Donald J. Trump to be the Republican nominee. Voted for him. But Mr. Haslam, in his arrogant, man. He's got a lot of money. People wait on him. And I know how they treat him like he's God. Everything he says, oh, yeah. Well, listen, Mr. Bill Hasbin, I don't like you, and I think you're disgusting. And I think you ought to be held responsible for your crimes against humanity. That's what I say on the public sidewalk. He lives here in Knoxville. I'm not afraid of him. He ought to be afraid of himself. He might get hit by one of the drunk drivers that he's turned loose by getting rid of me. That's just a fact. I hope you don't get hit, Bill Haslam. I don't want him to get hit. I want him to stand trial, stand justice. And he might, I don't know. The script flips. But he spoke out against Donald Trump in his arrogance. I know more. I'm a Republican too, but I know more is what he is. I vote independent. I know more than millions and millions of Republicans all across the United States. I don't care that they want him to be the president. I'm going to speak out against him because I know more. I'm so arrogant. You know, Mr. Bill has been, a million people on here. He still won, idiot. You don't know anything except for how to destroy lives and property, you disgusting human being. His legacy, every time you see his name on the side of that damn building, think about little children that get killed in drunk driving wrecks because of his getting rid of the #1 trooper in the state and sending out a message, taking specific deterrence away and taking general deterrence away. That's what that man did. Every little child, think about what Bill Haslam did on the name of that building. Now, he bought his name on that building. Money that he stole from y'all out of his dangerous convenience stores. I hope he's watching. How you doing, Bill Haslam? He's got some kind of poncho where he gets on there and smiles real big. Probably like the former governor of California, you know, that was out sleeping with his housekeeper and had a child out of wedlock. I mean, these dirty creeps. These dirty creeps. That's what they are. Let's get across the road so I don't get dead. But yeah, let's attack his legacy. And at any time, he can make things right. Straighten it out, Bill. How about it? How about it? Yeah, he won't do it because he's a creep. He's arrogant. He's an arrogant, rich thug. So we're talking about death. And they want, in their death, they name streets after themselves. They put up road signs proclaiming they're a hero because they want their name to go on in their death. While poor people out here don't even have money to pay for funerals, where they have to get buried by the state. And part of the sociology of death and bereavement is for people to have funerals and to be able to finalize things. But he sure has plenty of money, don't he? So let's see how many people got on here. We're going to cover some more things about death. Got some stuff to go over here. Some notes we got. So many people got in here. Go to the other side of the bridge, my favorite side. And going to talk about, as you've seen, the Grim Reaper on my sign. I talk about death. So I've got a bunch of people on here. Thank y'all for joining. So yeah, we're discussing death, the topic of death, on the Charles Van Morgan Show. Got over 100 people in here. Thank y'all so very much. Let's talk about the concept of people were asked in a study what part of their life was the happiest or going to be. And people that were younger mentioned that it was in the future they were going to be happy. And people that were older, like me, mentioned some event in the past of their happiness. But what none of them mentioned, according to the survey, was something that is very important. What about right here and now? Right now. Not what may happen in the future or what happened in the past. What about happiness right now? Because the past is gone. We can't change the past. There's nothing we can do about it. We can try to make things look better and paint a better picture of it and try to promote reality, or we can leave the past alone. And the future, people should plan for the future. I get that to a certain extent, but you don't know if you got a future. If you work the road and seen death, you know how fragile it is. You're not promised another day. All we really have, and according to that survey, nobody mentioned it, is right here, right now. Is all we got. That's all we're promised. We may not have tomorrow. So, thinking about death, remember, right here, right now, that's what you got. And people should make plans for the future. I get that. And people should try to make their life better for the future. But you're not guaranteed. So you better live for the day. And tomorrow, the past is gone. You know, talking about the old days, there's nothing you can do about it. It's a done deal. So live today. Another concept that I thought about as far as death goes is the fact that in the Bible, we're going to talk some more about death and how the government causes it. God bless you. Thank you. God bless you, Charles. Thank you. Another concept about death is from my Christian belief. Now, if you're not a Christian, don't tune out. Listen and consider. This is where I make an offer. Not an offer that's my offer, an offer that's Jesus Christ's offer. That's better than me, a lot better than me. It's perfect, the only perfect man ever lived. And I'm not. I'll tell you straight up, I'm not. I'm forgiven not perfect. Now here's the offer that I have. Another concept that's very important I want to point out to you is that, and I'll show you some notes I got when I get to the other side of the bridge, is that in the Bible it talks about the fact that the psalmist is praying to stay alive because he don't want to die, and I don't want to die either. That's the reason why people tell me to jump. Yeah, it ain't gonna happen. And in the Bible, there's a verse where the psalmist is praying to live, because he says after he dies, will the dust praise you? Because he's saying that when he's dead, he won't praise God, which seems to indicate if you at first blush that there's no life after death in the Bible. It seems to indicate that, which atheists would jump on that. Even the Bible does talk about life after death. But if you look at it more closely and put it into context, what that is talking about is this important concept, is that as great as heaven will be, if you accept the Lord Jesus Christ in your heart, ask Him to forgive you, you're a Christian. You'll go to heaven when you die. And even if you've killed somebody, there can be a forgiven murder in heaven. And the concept is this, though, that the psalmist says he won't praise God after, and he's praying to stay alive. And what that verse means is, this important concept is that among the living, while we're alive, as great as heaven will be, among the living we can praise God and present the gospel to people, to present the gospel of Jesus Christ to the world while we're alive among the living. As great as heaven will be, and there is an afterlife, as great as heaven will be, there will not be the opportunity. One thing heaven will not provide you the opportunity of is to present the gospel among the living. Because you'll be in heaven with God, it won't be necessary. But right now, while you're alive, and the psalmist speaks about that as a blessing, as something that after you die, you lose. Even when you're in heaven, you won't have that in heaven. So right now, not in the future, not backwards, right now while you're alive, if you're a Christian, and if you're not, become one, I would ask you to, then you have the opportunity while you're alive, and the psalmist prayed that as, God, keep me alive, let me live, because the dust can't praise you. I want to praise you among the living. Among the living. So he was going to die, and he knew he was going to go to heaven. But he didn't want to die and go to heaven because he wanted to praise God among the living people on the planet. You and me have something right now. If you're a Christian, if you're not, become one, I would ask you to. I'm not forcing religion on people. I'm just telling you a spiritual concept that caught my attention pretty good, because I believe I'm on my way to heaven. But something that won't be available in heaven, that is available, that is a blessing right now, is a time phenomenon. And we won't need to in heaven. It's a time phenomenon that right now we're alive among the living, that we have the opportunity to praise God. And we won't have that opportunity among the living after we are in heaven above. So that is an important concept. Something to spread the gospel right now while you're alive, because you won't be able to. You won't be able to, as great as heaven as it will be. That is a blessing that's not available. It won't be there when you get to heaven. So share the gospel, spread the gospel of Jesus Christ if you're a Christian. enjoy that blessing. And I'll show you some paperwork that goes right along with that. And thank y'all for joining. Got a bunch of people on here. God bless y'all. Share, like, comment, and support the movement. So let's show you some documentation here of our great message. Thank y'all for joining me. Yes, sir. Really? Okay. So let's do this right here. Talk about government crimes. Now, we've already showed you this right here. Called Tennessee government. Tennessee government crimes cause hundreds to get killed. Bill Haslam did that. Bill Haslam. Crooked courts in Tennessee cause hundreds to get killed by their corrupt government policies and their lies in court. Let's also talk about something real important. It's really good now. We're going to talk about police killings. We're going to talk about police murdering people. Now, a lot of people are concerned about crime, about being murdered by somebody, by a thug, by a criminal or something. What about being killed by police unjustifiably? And that never happens. It never happens. Let's go on. I'm not worried about that. It never happens. So let's go on to another subject. It happens. It happens frequently. Did you know in 2024 there are 1,173 civilians killed by police? Now, some of it's justified. I bet some of it's not. 1,173 civilians killed. 2024 marked a grim milestone in U.S. law enforcement history, becoming the deadliest year in over a decade, with police killing 1,173 killed. Now compare that. Now we are all out here worshiping the police. Oh, one dies. Oh, and it's bad. I'm not making fun of that. That's sad. That's sad. It is. But they killed 1,172 civilians. How many of them got killed in 2024? How many of them got murdered by civilians? 64. So they killed over 1,000 of you all, of us, and only 64 of them got killed. So boo-hoo-hoo, civilians slaughtered by 1,000. So, 1,170 civilians to 64 police killed, murdered by police. So they're out here killing us. Police will tell you that, killing us every day. About three fatalities per day. Police kill people. Police kill about 30 people every day. But don't say that. Don't say that. That's socialism. That's communism. How about that's a fact? Is there a problem there? I think so. I think, and the reason why I think there's a problem is I can tell you from knowledge, personal insight knowledge about false police killings and people that work the killings, that lie, people that investigated the killings, that lie about stuff. Now, if you have a police killing, so the police goes out and he shoots somebody dead, and he had to because he's protecting his life and he's got a right to. As opposed to you got a police to go out and they shoot somebody out of anger or because of some vendetta or because they messed up. They made the wrong decision and the person didn't have a weapon, they thought they did. Or because they put them in the back seat of the patrol car instead of taking them to the hospital, which I didn't do. Called an ambulance. But Major Headley tried to get me in trouble for calling an ambulance when somebody needs medical care, and I'll get in trouble for doing the right thing. That's all right with me. So if you have a proper investigation before an unbiased agency, then there's no problem with that. That's fine. They got a right to defend themselves. They got a right to defend the lives of other people. Use force that could cause death, and if it causes death, unfortunately it does. But what about if it is done by people that are unbiased and there's reason to question them, they're not above board. They haven't been above board in the past, so why the hell do we trust them in the future? So you think about people in government power that lie on police reports in the past, and then they investigate incidences. And there was an incident up in Claiborne County where a policeman responded to a domestic violence incident, and a trooper backed him up, not being called, violating policy because they have to be specifically requested by the agency, showed up on the incident, on a domestic incident, went behind a tree, and a man was coming out of a barn that had nothing to do with the domestic at the house, and the trooper shot and killed the man wrongly, and the investigator justified it as a justifiable homicide. So, and the officer has lied in police reports in the past, the one that justified as a justifiable homicide. He was telling me about that he didn't have nothing to do with it, but the officer, the trooper, didn't go to jail for it. So police are killing us at alarming rates. 173,000 to 64 police killed. And only 64 officers were killed by suspects. They killed 1,173 civilians. So they killed us, over 1,000 of us, compared to only 64 of them. Only 64 of them got murdered. So who's killing who? So that's just another way these thugs kill you, is in police shootings. So let's look at this. Knox County deputies killed 18-year-old Devon St. German January 2025 this year. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation was called to investigate the incident, and Knox County Attorney General later determined the officers acted in self-defense. Now I know this Attorney General is a dirty liar. Sharman Tissue Allen, she's just protecting the establishment, protecting the officers that protect her. She won't tell you the truth about stuff. She's a dirty liar. Tammy Hicks, a prosecutor at the Attorney General's office, accused me of wrongdoing and dismissed hundreds of drunk driving cases, says that I wasn't credible. When I lowered the fatality rate, this Attorney General here said that I wasn't credible to testify in a Knox County court. They dismissed hundreds of cases, blaming it on me. The state of Tennessee, another prosecutor, and the Highway Patrol agreed with her, served me a subpoena to testify and asked me to meet. The Attorney General in Claiborne County, Jared Effler, called me about 6 months later after they dismissed hundreds of cases, asked me to testify. So which one is it? Which one is it? Either I'm credible to testify, or Jared Effler is a liar, or Attorney General Sharman Tissue Allen and Tammy Hicks is a liar. And either Mr. Devon Montez St. German is justified in killing him, and Sharman Tissue didn't lie this time, or she might have lied this time, we don't know, and said it was justified, because I know she's lied in the past. I know they're liars. So we don't have unbiased investigation. So if a trooper or a police officer goes out here and kills somebody by using force to protect himself or others, and we got an unbiased investigation that determines that's fine, hey, I'll go along with the program. But when they've lied in the past, and then they go out here and investigate something and they say it was justified, I don't believe a damn word they say. I don't believe a damn word they say. And it ain't from reading the book, it's from life experience. I know I lowered the fatality rate. I lowered it, and they lied and raised it and tried to do another murder on me. It's called character assassination. Well, let me tell you what, Sharman Tissue Allen, you didn't get it done. I'm still out here. I have a hard time living. I don't have medical insurance. There's more than one way to kill somebody. You put a gun to their head and shoot them like they did this guy, like they did the guy in Claiborne County, You put them in the back seat of a patrol car, not let them get medical treatment like they did that lady at Fort Sanders. Or you can defame them, hiding behind complete judicial immunity, absolute immunity, and make it to where other people don't want to deal with them. I can't find a good job, can't get my law license. What they're trying to do to me. And what I did was protect lives. The fatality rate was lower when I was on the road. And now it's a lot higher, and more people getting killed by police that they investigate. I wouldn't believe a damn word they said. They're a bunch of liars. They're a bunch of crooks. They ought to be behind the bars that they put people in. Sharma Tissue Allen ought to be behind bars. She ought to be arrested and prosecuted for dirty lies. She said that killing that 18-year-old was justified. Sure, she backed up the sheriff's department. Sure she did. You know why she backed up the sheriff's department? Because after she retires from her buku bucks as a prosecutor, she'll go to work for the sheriff's department. You say, oh, that's ludicrous. Randy good-for-nothing Nichols retired from the Knox County Sheriff's Department, from the prosecutor's office. He was elected DA. He lied to people. He was elected DA. Lied about me. I know he lied about me. I can just read you his transcript. After he retired, he went to work for the Christian sheriff. So, they kind of work together. You lie for us, we'll give you a job, give you more money after you retire from lying for us. That's what it's just a big death racket where we have 1,173 people killed in Knoxville all over the place, and these crooks lying about it. So, they'll charge in your house. He was killed in his bed. They'll charge in your house and murder you, and then they'll say, it was justified. Take our word for it. We believe it. We haven't lied in the past, even though Charles Van Morgan can prove you're a dirty liar and you're a crook and you've raised the fatality rate. And you've raised it so bad that even your own drunken self-glutton's in danger. I mean, I'm just telling you the truth. And then they try to defame me and try to show that I'm not credible, and make other people not want to deal with me. Try to kill me when I can't even use my education, so I'll use it prosecuting them, convict them, don't vote for them, don't allow them to get by with their killing of you, which is what they're doing. And here's what they won't let, look at this. Theresa West, I don't think you have any high moral ground. So yeah, people don't want to deal with me, do they? I have this Miss Theresa West, whoever you bozo are, I have a lot of high moral ground. I protected property. You're believing people in power, and they may even kill you. What a dumb idiot you are. You think they care to charge in your house and kill you? So if people think I'm being unruly, perhaps it's concerning to discover restraint is not rewarded with success, but those who use more unruly tactics escape misfortune because they are clever enough to use tactics primarily in situations where public sentiment neutralizes their normal deviance of action, thus reducing the likelihood and effectiveness of counterattack. So I'm depending on y'all to protect me from a counterattack against Sharma Tissue Allen, Tammy Hicks, the THPP Highway Patrol, Major Stacy Drunk Heatherly, who probably limps a little bit now because she didn't protect society and got endangered by the environment that she created that she could have prevented. She was captain of the Highway Patrol. Did the fatality rate go down? That's her responsibility. Tennessee Department of Public Safety. It's not Tennessee Public Safety. It's Tennessee Department of Public Danger. Did the fatality rate go down while she was over the Department of Safety in Knox County? Hell no, it went up. She got hit by a drunk driver herself. That's how these people are dangerous. I'm doing them a favor. So that's one thing. They're killing us and lying about it. Your life's in danger. And I've been all over the state putting out propaganda just like I am now, and I'm not going away. You won't hear this anywhere else. It's the truth. We need to fight these people. Don't go along with the program. Fight them at the polls. You can go vote today. Go vote today. I think there's somebody that will try to do a half-decent job. The best of the worst. Here in Knox County, Becky Jones, vote for her. If y'all will vote for her, it'll show that I'm getting somewhere. And I believe that she is a Christian. I believe that she has Christian values. So vote for Becky Jones. Go vote today. Get off the couch and go vote. I've been putting out this truth and propaganda. I'm fighting them. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing now. I'm prosecuting them to you. I'm prosecuting them to Australians, Canadians, all over the world. That's what we got here in Knoxville. We got a crooked government. I'm fighting them. Vote. Join vote. Voters of Tennessee and Rage. So this is what I'm actually involved in. That's what this is about. There's a rhyme and reason to all this. Putting out truthful propaganda all over the state about their 64 law enforcement officers dead, as opposed to your 1,000. Last year, 1,700. It is 1,000. Let's see exactly what it is. Well, 1,704, I think. Law enforcement officers. Civilians killed, as opposed to 64 officers dead. And their courts go along with the program. They go along with whatever they tell them to do. Yeah, it's 1,073 people as compared to that. So, and their judges go along with the program and allow them to do this. And their prosecutors do too. And, death or liberty. They're giving us death. They're giving us death. They're not giving us liberty. And so that's just the subject of today's conversation is about death. And we're talking about how the government, how the Tennessee government, the people in power, and I put this propaganda all over the state. It's truthful propaganda. They beat me up, put me in jail for it, which is, I'm still out here. I'm unafraid, unbridled, stand on the First Amendment. I have a legal education. I can sue them in federal court. If they do it again, I'll sue them. I won't let them off the hook this time. So what I'm doing about it is fighting truth and propaganda. I put this on about 50,000 doors across the state of Tennessee, 50,000 doors. Here just recently in Knoxville, I put it on about 6,000 doors. I knocked on about 6,000 doors all across the state, talking about how dirty the government is, how crooked these people are, trying to protect you from Sharman Tissue Allen, Governor Bill Lee, Governor has been. They want to kill you. They want to kill you. They want you dead. And they want their names to go on forever. They know they're going to die, but they put them on the side of buildings, put them up on 411, buy their name. So, another way that they're killing you is through lack of enforcement. Through lack of enforcement. And they don't enforce the law on drunk drivers. Another way they kill you is through their closing down hospitals. Now, here in Knoxville, they closed down the Knoxville Police Department. Tore down the building, Knoxville Police Department. Put them a brand new police department in a hospital. They moved the hospital out, put police in there. Where people used to go for medical care, now they can't go for medical care. They have to, there's police departments. So the government in Tennessee don't want you to get health care. They want you to get arrested. They don't want you to go to the hospital. They want you to go to jail. And they sent that message very clearly. The police department tore it down, moved the police department, moved the hospital out, made a jail, moved the doctors out of that building at St. Mary's Hospital right down here on this street, moved the hospital, the doctors, the nurses. Now if you go up there where it used to be an emergency sign, you can go get arrested, you can go to jail. They put you in a jail cell. They don't want to treat you medically, they want you to go to jail. Right at the end of this bridge used to be Baptist Hospital. Now it's an apartment building. They took the hospital down where if you had an emergency, you can't go there for emergency. You can go pay high dollar rent. Is what they got that. Now Tennessee is one of the leading states in the nation of hospital closures. What happens if you don't have hospitals? You die. And so the government has set up that situation to kill people. They don't care about your health, safety, and well-being. They have hospitals that they can go to, but you don't have hospitals. One of the reasons why they do that is medical care is expensive, and they have to provide emergency medical care to keep you alive. If they have a hospital, the federal government makes them, hey, if you have a hospital and somebody's dying and they don't have a penny, you gotta come in, you gotta bring them in, you gotta keep them alive. So what they do is, okay, we won't even have a hospital there. So if you're dying, you go where St. Mary's is at, you'll die. And then you can't sue them, there's no hospital there. If you're dying and you go down here where Baptist Hospital used to be, when the Baptist Hospital was there, they didn't want to, you didn't have a dime, they had to bring in and they had to treat you medically. You had to be treated. So they think, well, let's see here. The way we can deal with that problem of treating human beings, the way we can deal with that problem of treating humanity and providing basic health care, life-saving health care in the most prosperous country in the world, because it costs us a little bit of our prosperity to feed people that once they're sick, they can't work for us anymore. And this is just the truth. I mean, you can take it or leave it however you want to, but go to the places, go here on Blunt Avenue and see if you see a hospital. I'm just telling you why you don't see a hospital there. Go down here to where there's a police department and see why you don't see a hospital. And I'm telling you why there's not a hospital. If you're dying, you can't go there. You have to go over here to University of Tennessee, where there's a line all the way out in the parking lot sometimes. Medical care, where you got to wait in line, and they're saying they're doing the best they can. They're not doing the best they can. They can open up more hospitals. Tennessee it's one of the leading states in the nation of hospital closures. Why? Because we got some of the most greedy Republican people like Haslam across that building. Haslam School of Business, Haslam School of how to rip people off and close down hospitals to get more money in his pocket. Haslam how to public relations lie to people. I'm my own public relations department, and I think I'm doing a pretty good job. I don't care who don't agree with me, because I'm telling you the damn truth about it. Try going to the hospital if you're poor. Go down here to UT and wait in a long line. Used to you go to UT, used to you go to Baptist or go to St. Mary's. You can't anymore. They closed them down. Talking about death. Talking about the government killing you. You want to hear other people tell you this. I know what I'm talking about. I have a Master of Arts in Sociology with an emphasis in criminology. I'm not worried about street crime. I'm worried about Bill Haslam crime. Bill Haslam crime kills you deader than a doorknob. You're dead when you can't go to the hospital and you need emergency care and it's closed down. You're dead when you can't go to St. Mary's and go to the hospital. Hello. So we're talking about police killings. We're talking about hospital closures. We're talking about the truth that you won't hear anywhere else. I'm Bridal News, Charles Van Morgan. There's a reason why this channel's got almost 1 million people listening. Because you don't hear people tell the truth about people in power because they're afraid of them. And so I'm asking you all to support the movement. Fund us to dig up more truthful stuff about the government to protect you. So let me show you this right here. Forward looking of the states of Royal Hospital closures in 25 states ranked by the percentage of Royal Hospitals at risk of closure in the next 2 to 3 years. The report from CHQPR assessed each Royal Hospital's health and risk, found Texas, Tennessee, 15, just under Texas. I mean, there are certain parts that are actually ghetto, but not everywhere it's actually beautiful. Okay. Just over 1,000 subscribers, Charlie Boy, hardly 1 million listeners. Okay. Yeah. A million listeners look at the views on the channel. I agree. Yeah, they're closing down hospitals. Thank you, Chari85. I appreciate that. So like, share, comment. Yeah, the police are killing you. And it's been called justified by lying prosecutors. You hear anybody else say that? No, they don't. They're afraid to. Support the movement. And they're closing down hospitals where you can't get medical care. And right now, today, the food stamp program shut down where they're starving to death. You think that's a fair and just society, that it's supposed to be that way? That everything's okay? I don't think so. I don't think so. God put me on the planet. I might not be here tomorrow, but today, I'm here saying the system is set up for them, by them, and they don't care if they kill you. A lot of them, they want you dead after you're useless anymore. After you get old, you need a hospital, after you work for them all their life, you'll die. Haslam don't care. He wants his name to go forever. He's named a building after himself, and that's what they do. So they're killing us by police. They're killing us by closing down hospitals. We're talking about death. And the government kills more people. People in government power kill more people than any criminal ever dreamed of killing. Your enemy is not the person that goes and robs a bank down here. That's their enemy, because we don't have much money in that bank. The real enemy is not civilians. They only killed 64 cops. The real enemy is people in government power that are killing you by the truckloads. That's the truth. That's reality. And we can fight them by spreading the message, spreading the truthful propaganda, because they lie to you. And here's the verse in the Bible I told you I was going to show you. Psalm 39, what profit is there in my blood when I go down to the pit? Shall the dust praise thee? Shall it declare thy truth? No, the dust won't, so you better praise God while you're alive. God gave me a mission to spread the word about the love of Jesus Christ, and also spread the message about the dirty government in the state of Tennessee, led by, quote, Christians. What a travesty that is. God kicked people out of the temple. One of the only reasons why Jesus got mad, got angry, justifiably, and threw people out of the temple, when they were using Christianity for money, for mammon. Money is synonymous with power. They're using Christianity for power, to spread their power, and not for the glory and God, the glory of God, and for true Christianity. So here's the deputy that got hurt. Knox County deputy had foot amputated after being injured on duty in a DUI crash. A Knox County deputy in a head-on collision while on duty back in July will soon have his foot amputated, according to Blue Line, Tennessee. On July 27th, around 10 p.m., Deputy Matt Crutchner and his probation officer were responding to reports of a fight in Halls when a cruiser and another car crashed head-on. The driver of the other car, an 18-year-old man, was charged with driving under the influence. So, boo-hoo-hoo. Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry he's losing his leg. Yeah. Oh, God. Sorry he's losing his leg. That's so sad. Hopefully I didn't lose anybody. Sorry he's losing his leg. That is so sad that he's losing his leg. But he has the ability, which I used when I was a cop, to turn on those blue lights and arrest a lot of drunk drivers, take them to jail, slap them on the wrist. You don't do that. Most people won't drink and drive after they get arrested the first time. And he has the ability to do something about it. So what about people that lose their leg, lose their lives drunk in Knox County? In Knox County, they praise people that drive drunk and are violent drunk drivers. They glorify them. They're heroes here in Knox County. So why is it interesting that they hit one of their own? You know, I mean, you look at Andersonville Pike. He's a hero, a martyr, a violent, dangerous person. You know, that's the reason why the government lies. They spin a lie. So he's, you know, I hate that, and I pray for him. I'm sad for him. But they need to get off their hind end and do their jobs, and arrest drunk drivers and protect the public. And we need hospitals open up. And we need a government that serves us and not keeps people in power. And after the prosecutor leaves the Attorney General's office, and she's said that fatal shootings by the Sheriff's Department are justified, she and backed up the crooked system, then goes to work for them. So she backs them up because she knows after she leaves the prosecutor's office, she'll go to work as a sheriff's deputy like Randy Nichols did. So what I'm doing about it is I'm putting out propaganda all over the state, and I know I'm stepping on people's toes. I'm stomping all over them. I could care less. I'm protecting the public. I made a lot of people mad when I protected the public in making drunk driving arrests. I made a lot of attorneys here mad in Tennessee. They arrested their children. Oh, you can't arrest my children. Yeah, you can't. The Knoxville bar will get rid of you. The Knoxville lawyers. Who do you think's more honest? The people in the Knoxville bar, lawyers, or me? What a question is that? Yeah. I don't think I got much competition. There's some of them honest, very few of them. So I'm passing out propaganda. Look at this right here. This is what the Tennessee bar accused me of doing. The flyers around the courtyard say again. I know what makes them mad. Flyers around the courtyard entrance and parking lot of the National School of Law were made derogatory comments about judges and the judicial system in the state of Tennessee. The material specifically named the judge who entered order of protection, including his photograph, and referred to him as a dirty judge. He is. The flyer stated that the Board of Judicial Conduct facilitates witness tampering, referred to the members of the board as thugs. Applicants made multiple social media reports derogatory towards Tennessee. So I know that makes them mad. Makes people in government power. Makes them mad to call Judge McMillan a dirty judge. He is a dirty judge. I was out campaigning, passing out this material all over the state, running for office, and they didn't like me doing that, so they subpoenaed me into court on a false civil complaint against me by the Republican Party. Subpoenaed me into court and take a bunch of my inheritance money away from me. And then they denied me my law license, and in denying me my law license, they got mad because I pass out material telling you that people in government power are dirty. Judge McMillan's a dirty judge, and I put out material at my former law school, and so that makes them mad. So I'm doing it again. Judge McMillan's a dirty judge, and Lisa Perlin is preventing honest attorneys from practicing law in the state of Tennessee. These people should be in jail. So I know what makes them mad, so I'll just tell you what makes them mad. Here's Bill Haslam's name. We're talking about death today. Here's Bill Haslam. Haslam College of Business. That's Haslam College of how to rip people off. So he wants his name to go on forever after his death. He's a thug. He's a dishonest man. So we're talking about death. Just to recap, they kill you by police killings. They kill you by not doing their jobs. They kill you by closing down hospitals. And they kill you by character assassination, by using their courts to assassinate my character. This is what Trooper Morgan saw the crash and chose to ignore it, passing the scene, leaving the victim in the car that was smoking, ultimately caught on fire without knowing whether he was dead or alive. Went out on a limb to attack me. Well, it killed Tennesseans. Let's fight back. Jail him. So yeah, that's Tracy Trott. So he's trying to murder my character, trying to murder me, Tracy Trott, the crook line thug that he is trying to kill me through assassinating my character. So they won't let me practice law in the court, so I'll practice law out here on the street, prosecuting them. Am I doing a good job? You tell me. I think I am. So somebody else looked at that video and said, their own expert looked at the video and said, the leadership was falsified, or there's another piece of evidence I haven't seen. I looked at the videotape 6 times and couldn't determine whether there was an accident or whether there was a vehicle on fire. I finally ran it all the way to the end of the tape, and I admit I was driving the route, and when Trooper Morgan stopped, I stopped the videotape, and I thought, okay, I missed the car on fire, so I hit replay 6 times, didn't see it. But Trott says I seen it right immediately. So this is an expert that works for them. Trott says I drove by, seen a wreck. So this is their character assassination. How they're trying to tell you, don't believe him. He lowered the fatality rate. Their own expert, this is one that works for them. He teaches a class in the academy. They claim the best trained troopers in the state, and he trains them. Bruce Siddle, and he said he looked at the videotape, ran it by 6 times, didn't see a car off the road on fire. 6 times. Tracy Trott said, oh, it's easy to see, lying on me. So they tried to. And then they defamed their own expert. A lot of attorneys do that. If you have a car wreck and there's a dispute about it, who's at fault, then insurance companies will hire an expert to decipher the wreck. And an expert will say that person was at fault. And a ploy of attorneys is they will discredit the expert and hire their own expert and say, well, that expert's not credible. But what we did is we got their expert that works for the Highway Patrol and let him look at the video, and he didn't see it. Said 6 times. He wouldn't have testified in my favor, but he was telling the truth. He went against the whole Highway Patrol. So we hired their own expert and said, hey, Charles Van Morgan didn't do nothing wrong. He didn't do anything wrong. The Highway Patrol documents and the opinions going to leadership was falsified. So the expert that works for them said the information that got to the leadership was falsified, and the leadership falsified documents. Colonel Trott falsified documents because his internal affairs originally put me back to work. So their own expert said it's falsified. They shouldn't have fired him, and then Tracy Trott tries to destroy my reputation. Like I said, there's more than one way to destroy somebody's life, to murder them. You can put a gun to their head, pull the trigger. Trott like to do that, but he wouldn't get anywhere with it. I'm a little bit bigger than that little puny fella. A scumbag, dirtbag, pathetic piece of trash that's responsible for people getting killed on the road. He's got his picture up in the Highway Patrol, responsible for people's death, Department of Public Danger. What a mass, what a sad thing it is in Tennessee. And trying to destroy my reputation, saying that was easy to see, when their own expert said, no, it wasn't. That's not true. That's falsified. That's false. Their own expert said that. And they try to punish me worse because I stood up for right and fought them. And I'll continue to fight them. You're not getting by with lying to the public. So even their own expert, that's another way they kill you, by trying to destroy your reputation. You go up against them, they'll destroy your reputation. They're dirtbag thugs. They're pathetic pieces of garbage. They're wasting air is what they're doing. In Marxist tradition, 1980 argues that deviant labels apply to people who interfere with operations of capitalism. First, because capitalism is based on private controlled property. People who threaten the property of others, especially the poor, who steal from the rich, are prime candidates for being labeled deviant. Consequently, the rich who exploit the poor are less likely to be deviant. So they are exploiting their power to try to defame me. So here is Trotz ordered a hit. Trooper Morgan, you can't handle the truth, you know. So we're here on the case of Trooper Charles Van Morgan. Trooper Morgan, did you recommend discipline? I did. And what was that discipline? Termination. It was the termination of the investigation that Trooper Morgan saw the crash and chose to ignore it, passing the scene, leaving the victim in the car that was smoking openly, caught on fire without knowing whether it's dead or alive. Their own expert witness did say that. Look at this. Cockle, what did you... We did see, we're not saying you panicked. We're not saying that you were afraid of liability. Maybe have been simply thought we were so concentrated on getting your eyes, you don't want to get tied up in the pursuit and fatality and all that. You want to get back to work and do your eyes. We don't know the reason. So they don't know the reason. That's what they say, and he says he knows the reason. They say they don't even know. We're just guessing, but he says that's his internal investigation. We're just guessing, but he says he knows. The reason is, as simple as sounds, I went over it 100 times, went through my mind, parked car, it's in the grass, it's dark, I can't see all that stuff, and you know, it's a high tense situation. The reason I passed is because I didn't see it as a wreck. Now I told you, I seen a car, I'm telling you the truth, seen a car, I didn't see it as a wreck. I saw it as a car that I questioned. Is that the wreck? And I'm dismissed it. No, I didn't see smoke, I didn't see it up against the tree, I thought it was a parked car. I did question now maybe, and I thought that because I hadn't seen the car down the road, but I'm still looking down the road for the car. I'm not thinking about it. So yeah, so that's the truth. I told the truth. Trot tries to character assassinate me. You piece of thug, Trotz. Look at this right here. Colonel Trott's investigation unit, after interview, determined Mr. Morgan did not commit the acts Trott accused him, or at least they determined they did not have preponderance of evidence to show that. Evidence to return him back to work the same day. Mr. Morgan was returned all his equipment taken away prior to this incident. His state patrol cars, law enforcement IDs, and weapons returned. Mr. Morgan was back to full commission duty December 14, 2011, January 3rd, and put in the driver's license station when Sergeant Stacy Heatherly took over his shift. So Lion Heatherly's the one that did that. Wow, isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? She took the leading drunk driver off the road, got him fired by lying and perjury, by her fake investigation. Wasn't even my supervisor. And my supervisor gave me all fives after that. And then she took me off the road, and then later on, a few years later, gets hit by a drunk driver herself. Wow, isn't that amazing? Boo-hoo-hoo, she calls it herself. What an idiot. These people are not even good for their stupid selves. Here is Line Nichols, Line Randy Nichols, caused more death on Tennessee roadways. Line Nichols caused more Tennesseans to be killed on Tennessee roads. Vote his body, Sharman Tissue Allen, out of DA's office. So we need to vote him out of office. Like, share, comment, support the movement. So who stands up against the prosecutor? So he said I wasn't competent to testify. Jared Effler gave me a subpoena when I told him I was fired from the Highway Patrol, explained to him it was wrongfully. He gave me a subpoena to testify. He said I couldn't testify. They dismissed over 100 cases, and they blamed their dismissal of 100 cases of DUI on me. I didn't dismiss 100 cases. I was out on the road at night and arrested people by myself at night. And this crooked attorney general sat in office, protected by sheriff's deputies, protected by armed people where you couldn't stop him, where you couldn't hurt him, completely protected, released hundreds of drunk drivers, and then they blamed that on me. I didn't release them. I arrested them at night. That little coward there, these cowards here, endangered you. Endangered yourself. We're talking about death. They caused people in Tennessee to get roads to get killed. That's what they did. This lady here in Blount County was killed in a pursuit. Now we're talking about character assassination, trying to murder me. character assassination. She was killed. Amelia Cohen and Charles Perkins were killed August 14th, 2012. Now that pursuit I was in, was on November the 26th, 2011. Now just less than a year later, August 14th, 2012. Now when I was in pursuit, go to the video, watch the video. They're lying to you. Watch the video. When I started the pursuit, I turned on all my equipment. You can see the car light up. You can hear the woo, woo, woo. You can hear the siren. It's because state law requires that. It's the state law you do that. There's a video. It's out to the public. They released it out to the public, hoping to defame me. But I did nothing wrong. That video is my best evidence. So this is how they kill you. Police killings. So I turn on all my equipment. That's to warn other people. Hey, after I turn on my equipment, I turn around after the violent, dangerous, drunk speeder. That's a hero now. Oh, he's a hero. He's a hero. Yeah, he's not a hero. Shameful. Shameful what happened. Shameful. He's shameful. His family ought to be ashamed of the behavior of their child that endangered the public. Instead, they go after the police officer that's risking his life. Really? You want to flip that? Go right ahead. I'm not ashamed of anything I did. I'm proud of it. Proud of it. Tammy Hicks at this courthouse ought to be ashamed of herself. And she holds her head up because she's got guards protecting her. These people ought to be in jail. So I'm proud of what I did. I'm not ashamed of that. I did what I was supposed to be doing. The THPP, that patch on. Oh, you proud of that patch, THPP? That's a sick patch. Represents Stacy, Drunk, and Heatherly. I mean, come on now. Hey, let's tell you the truth. You won't hear this anywhere else. So this lady here, Amelia Cohen, I turn on all my lights to warn other people. There's a dangerous situation going on here. Even the Highway Patrol says he did right in the pursuit. The only thing he did wrong was he saw a wreck and drove past it. No, I didn't. This is it. I told you. I thought it was a parked car. I just seen the tail end of it. It was after dark. Wasn't overturned. I didn't see any smoke or fire. Another witness didn't see any. I thought there wasn't any lights on the car. Any officer would have done the same thing. They're acting like the car's in the middle of the road, and I'll slam on my brakes, jump out, and say, oh, damn, I got to get the hell out of here. For what reason, I don't know. Because I'm trying to find this guy that I found. I'm trying to get the hell out of here. Gosh, hey, Trot, look at this, what I'm doing wrong. And get my car and I'm getting the hell out of here. That's what Trot's trying to portray I'm doing. No, Trot sat behind the desk and said, I'm going to murder Charles Van Morgan up with a gun to his head by lying on him. That's what he did. Hey, Trot, you didn't get it done, you dirty piece of crap. Cause people to get killed. 1 million people listen to you, dirtbag. You ought to go to jail. So this lady here, 16 years old. This is how serious this is. 16 years old. Listen to this. 16 years old. That guy did that to himself. He killed himself. Hey, I hate that for you. Stop. And then try to ruin my life like I did something wrong. And then act like, oh, I go to schools and tell people about drunk driving. You got to go to schools and say, I'm ashamed of my son that endangered people's lives, endangered the family of Charles Van Morgan's lives. You got that? You think I'm afraid of you? It's an open sidewalk out here. Come on down. I didn't run from your son. He ran from me. I'm not running from you. You got that? So, and Mr. Nichols, you got that? It's called freedom of speech. Bunch of thugs. So listen, 16-year-old, if this don't make you hot, nothing will. 16-year-old didn't do a damn thing wrong. Now she is going down the road in her car that should be protected by the state patrol. The honest integrity state patrol of Tracy Trotz, who said he came down to the scene of my incident because it was so magnitude of it. He came down to my incident to do a dirty hit job, you dirty SOB. He didn't come down because it's magnitude of the incident. This lady here, 16 years old, got killed by a negligent trooper. Did he come down to that scene? Hell no. He didn't do a hit job on that trooper, so he's a hit job colonel. You hear me, Colonel? You do hit jobs. You're a sick, pathetic individual. I'm not sick like you. I know where you live. You put my address out to the news media. I'm not sick like you. I don't want you killed. I want you behind bars where you should be. And I'm not going to wait till you burn in hell. I'd like to see you prosecuted on the planet. And I'm out here knocking on doors, talking to people every day about it, till we break through, shitbag. So this lady here, 16 years old, this don't bother you. A 16-year-old, a trooper, a few months later, gets in pursuit of Mr. Perkins. Turns around on him, sees him speeding on 411, just like me, turns around, but unlike me, he turns around on him. But he doesn't turn on any emergency equipment, violates the law. Where's Trot at? Going down to investigate that. I ain't doing a hit on him. I'm doing a hit on Charles Van Morgan. You didn't get it done, Trots. You didn't get your dirty job done, did you? And you ain't gonna get it done. So I was out for public safety. You're out for your darn nasty self. So Mr. Charles Perkins was running from the trooper, John Pettigo. Now he, unlike me, turns around the car without turning on his lights. So he's not warning anybody that he's in pursuit of Mr. Charles Perkins. So he turns around on him. Mr. Perkins probably seen the trooper turning around. He's going the opposite direction, moving radar. Turns around on him. And he turns around on him without warning the public. Hey, there's a problem here. There's somebody going down the road, high rate of speed. Turns around on him, goes in pursuit of him, violation of the law. And Mr. Perkins keeps going, running from the trooper. He sees him turn around. The trooper doesn't warn anybody. And Mr. Perkins, driving his car, crosses over the yellow line, running from the trooper, and smashes into this lady that's 16 years old. Amanda Cohen. Smashes into her, kills her, dead. Had the trooper been following the law, then she would have heard a siren, might have got her attention, where she could have avoided somebody calling on the wrong side of the road. That's why you use your emergency equipment when you're in pursuit of a violator or suspected violator of the law. When you're in pursuit of them, when you turn around, when you make a maneuver to go after them, that's pursuit. But he didn't turn on his emergency equipment like I did. I protected the public. He didn't protect the public, and he didn't warn Miss Amelia Cohen that he was in pursuit of somebody. That person probably ran harder seeing the trooper turn around. I'm sure he's seen him in his rearview mirror. And he sped up, went over the double yellow line, fleeing from the trooper, and went over the double yellow line and killed killed two people. Killed the man that was running from him, killed a 16-year-old, because the trooper didn't have any audio or visual warning to let her know if you're going down the road and a trooper's chasing somebody, a trooper's in pursuit of somebody, and he doesn't have on your emergency equipment, you don't know. And if you cross the double yellow line, he'll kill you. That's what happened to her. If you're going down the road and you see a siren, you'll get your attention. You see somebody coming for you, you'll get out of the way. So they killed that lady. The THPP killed that lady. And Trotz, in his own statement, said that he came down to the scene of the incident involving the man that killed himself. Because of the magnitude of the incident, one person, drunk driver, got killed fleeing from law enforcement. No big deal, happens all the time. Two people got killed, an innocent 16-year-old got killed. Did Tracy Trott go down there to the scene? Hell no he didn't. So we're talking about death. They're killing you by their ineptness, by their closing down hospitals, by police killing you at a rate of over 1,000 to 64. And look at this. Also, they're killing you, killing your children. KinCare, Cover Kids, have purged at least 128,000 children from their enrollment. This is how many kids have been cut from each program in Tennessee's 10 most populous counties, plus other in your area. And that was in 2029. So a clear choice. Here's the Hitler. The Christian man he is, has purged 128 children from And that's me when I was a UT police officer. He's killed 128 children, purged 128 children from hospitals. So not only are they closing down hospitals, they're taking little children off hospitals. And as of today, they have ended the food stamp program where little children can't eat. So they can't get medical children, they can't eat. And 16-year-olds get killed by inept troopers, and they fire troopers and defame troopers that are out on the road. And I'm not the only one, Marty Nix. And they fire troopers that are out on the road protecting public safety. They fired Marty Nix for complaining on them. Marty Nix got hurt in a pursuit where he could have got hurt in a pursuit where he was in pursuit of a car, and one of the cars that he stopped landed on top of his patrol car where he was protecting the public and risking his own life protecting the public. And they fired him, and they fired good troopers, and they fire good captains and good people, and force them to retire that are out for your public safety. So we're talking about how Tennessee, how the people in government power kill people. And they do it by closing down hospitals, by police killings. It's the sociology of death, how people in government power murder you. So like, share, comment. People in government power are murdering you. And they're doing it by proxy. By indirect cause death, indirectly by creating an environment maintaining conditions of poverty. There's an unfair allocation of resources. By unequal distribution of resources. And I'm not... By unequal distribution of resources, by the jobs they promote, by medical care, and they're in the food stamps. They promote people who's your daddy, not based on who does their job. They frame a distorted picture of reality, like the trooper that went in pursuit without emergency equipment on still has his job. They gave him a lifesaver award. The trooper, shortly after the 16-year-old was killed, he went in pursuit. Look at that, John Pettigo went in pursuit 411 without turning his emergency equipment on to make it legitimate that he didn't kill a 16-year-old, gave him a lifesaver award. And the trooper that was in pursuit of somebody that was dangerous to everybody that followed the pursuit policy, no innocent person was killed. Somebody murdered themselves. Somebody killed themselves that might have been dead had I not been anywhere around. Then they got rid of me, Marty Nix, that was almost hurt in a pursuit. They got rid of him. They give you a distorted view of reality based on their propaganda, using the government and judicial rulings that have complete immunity against any civil litigation to distort reality and paint a picture that is closing down hospitals, putting people in poverty worse and worse. It's time to go vote. It's time to go vote today. So the fight is between people who have little, people who have much, the super rich, between us, US, and them, between the have and the have-nots. That's who the fight is between. Between the liars that use their money to lie and use the government to lie, and us, the mass population of Tennesseans. That's who the fight is between. Their system is set up for them to prosper off your hard work. Their system, Trott's system, Haslam's system, Charmantisualis system is set up for them to prosper off your hard work and for you to get killed. How they control the government. They control the government. They have a proxy of voters. They have a proxy of voters, and they got them out today full force that benefit one's family and paid. Then they spread a lie, this person is great for you. And they have a proxy of voters, a bunch of voters that they give government benefits to, they give jobs to. They have a bunch of family and friends in government that they want to keep their jobs. So they have jobs and they have benefits, and they benefit directly off the working poor. And they tell them, we'll keep giving you this benefits, but get us elected. So they get them elected, and those people that they're giving benefits money to, that little proxy of voters, spread the word. Hey, this person is, whoever they can fool, this person is good for you. And then they get elected off lies. They cause death on Tennessee roadways, and they even make it more dangerous for themselves. You've seen the Knox County Sheriff's Department cause death on Tennessee roadways, even make it dangerous for themselves. You see the Knox County Sheriff's deputy that's got to amputate his leg. 45% more people killed. Sheriff's Department used to have DUI enforcement. Why don't they now? Why don't they have a DUI enforcement unit? They kill people by police killings, hospital closures. War's summing up. Not medical care for you, prison. They closed down the hospital and made it a police department. Sociology of death. While we're alive, we can spread the gospel of Jesus Christ. When we're dead, we won't have that privilege. Governor serves the rich. Government serves the rich at your expense. Judges protected, children not, because children can't vote. There's a mandatory school attendance. You go down to this courthouse, try to hurt one of these rogue judges. Don't do it, but try to hurt one of these rogue judges. They got a sheriff's deputy standing there with a gun. They got security guards at every level of entrance you go in there. You can't go in the parking garage. They got it blocked off. They got officers walk around in there. They got officers in the courtroom. You try to hurt one of these judges, and they'll be all over you. You go to and that's a career choice. You can't even be a judge unless you're approved by somebody in the government. I can't be an attorney because I defend the public. You go, there's mandatory school attendance in the state of Tennessee. You got to go to school. Mandatory school law. Kids don't have a choice. Parents don't have a choice. You have to go to school in the state of Tennessee. Mandatory school attendance. And they're mandatory massacre buildings because we require them to go to school. And all of our protection is protecting these dirty judges. It's a chosen profession. They can quit that day. They can quit. They don't have to be a judge. Or they could start issuing judicial rulings that are fair and protect the Constitution and don't drag people in when they're knocking on doors trying to get them not elected. And maybe they wouldn't have so much hatred and be in so much danger. But you get one of these Knox County courthouses and a judge will start insulting the hell out of you. Oh, buddy, he'll just run you down, say some sick things about you. These dirty judges say some sick things. I mean, just spout off the most heinous things where if you're on the road doing that, It would incite violence about you. Somebody knocked the hell out of you. And these judges know, hey, they got a sheriff's deputy there. They're not armed. They got their little hen house, chicken house. The fox has got his little hen house where they'll talk down to you and say some sick things about you, knowing that, hey, if he gets up and tries to punch me in the face for what I just said, then a sheriff's deputy will arrest him. So I'm a tough guy. I'll say sick stuff, and this sick McMillan says he's a sick man. Brings me in there, come out on the sidewalk and say that stuff to me. I just laugh at him because he's a sick man. I mean, it's called gaslighting. You're responsible. You're probably doing the stuff you're accusing me of, or why would you even think of that, you sicko? And I could play you the hearing, some of the stuff he said, so disgusting. And the illegal criminal activity that goes on in this courtroom, that's protected by sheriff's deputies. They're protected. They know they're protected. That's why they go in there and slander people. You say sick stuff, and then if the person gets up and jumps over the desk and hits them in the face, then they know, hey, they'll get arrested. I'm protected. I can slander you all I want to, and even criminally and civilly, complete immunity. And they got guards all over that place. You couldn't hurt one of them. That's a career choice. They ain't got to go in there and do that. And if they do that, then they don't have to, they need to be respectful towards people. They've literally got a rule that you have to be respectful towards the judiciary. A disrespectful court filing will not be listened to, and they can sanction you over it. So they have a rule in the state of Tennessee that a legitimate legal opposition to some of their cruelty and falseness, you can get sanctioned for it. So when you're dealing with them, you have to lie for them in their rulings, or they'll sanction you for telling the truth about dirty judges. I mean, isn't that just completely outrageous? They can say any damn thing they want to you about you that's not even true. If you do anything about it, there's deputies that will try to fight you. The judge, the coward, just sits behind the desk and knows that somebody else will protect him, and little bitty cowardly people. And if you contest that, legally writing what the judge did and say bad stuff about the judge that's truthful in defending yourself, then they will punish you more for telling the truth against their little utopia that these judges, I mean, it's a sick, pretty bad sick system. Go down here and sit in the courthouse and listen to some of this garbage and some of this abuse by these judicial officials and the sheriff's department. How they tamper with witnesses and throw people in jail by the truckloads for nothing, for money. They get $6 a head. These judges get $6 every time they put somebody in prison. So these judges are protected while we're talking about the sociology of death. They're protected in their criminality, in their crimes. You can't do anything about it. It's illegal. It's illegal if you fight them for their disgusting selves. It's illegal if you defend yourself against their violating the Constitution. It's illegal. Yeah, there's also Article 1, Section 1 and 2 of the Tennessee Constitution that says I got a right to stand up against you, and I damn sure will. They're rogue. They're lawless. This Knox County Courthouse is rogue and lawless. It's not legitimate. It's illegal. It's criminal. Now, I'm not saying to go down there and take over the courthouse. It's not my fault if people do. I'm saying to vote them out. Peacefully go down there and protest if you want to. Peacefully go down there. I know Trump said that, and you see what happened down there. This courthouse is a cesspool of sickness down here. If you've never been there, you don't know. And I can tell you. And these judges are protected, but our little children, mandatory school attendance. If you don't go to school, they put your parents in jail. Mandatory. And poor little children can't afford to go to private schools, even if they put money from the state in it. And they're buildings of massacre where people go in and shoot the damn place up. They're not protected. They're just wide open. You go into school and wide open. Why is that? Why is that? It's because the system is set up for them, by them, to protect them. And even little children get killed, and they don't give a damn. They don't care about you. They care about themselves, and they're drunk on their power. And that's the truth. That's the damn truth. And what we can do about it is we can go vote. Go vote. Now the TBI and FBI, listen to me, and they want me to say something criminal. Go down there and charge the courthouse. Well, I'm not going to say it. I don't believe in that. I believe in going and voting, putting out propaganda, truthful about the government. And it's a sad day when this man right here has military scars from fighting in Vietnam. Larry Bledsoe doesn't have his military honors. Larry Bledsoe ought to have his military honors. You know, and if I ever get in power, we'll try to get him to get it. So the famous, they do it for favors. Randy Nichols is now a sheriff's deputy. Wow. Favors, unspoken. Now, they don't tell you they're doing favors for each other. They don't tell you that. But Randy Nichols oversaw Knox County deputies' shootings and Knox County deputies' activities. And justifiable homicide. Sharman Tissue Allen, justifiable homicide. The guy about a mile from my house, justifiable homicide. They come and kill me. Justifiable homicide. If something happens to me, don't look at some thug over here. Has something to do with people in government power. Justifiable homicide. And then they retire from the sheriff's, they retire from the prosecutor's office. And after they've helped the sheriff say justifiable homicide, then they get a job for the sheriff's department, making more of your tax money after they've approved of your murders. So that's the way I see it. If you don't think that that's right, get on the wrong side. Get on the wrong side of their government and see. Get on the wrong side of the government, see what happens to you. Speak out against these thugs. They've already put me in jail. And all I'm doing is saying go vote. All I'm doing is saying vote. Vote. I'm not saying to do what they do, murder people. I'm not saying that we should fight them violently. That's what they do. I'm not condoning that. I don't believe in that. I don't believe that we should do that. I believe that we should go vote. So, recapping also, younger people and older people, death, most people said happiest part of their lives was future, young, older people, past. And I'm just telling you, right now is the time, the only time that we're guaranteed is right now. So this moment right now is the only time that you have, so be happy right now. And enjoy the present. And enjoy right now. So in a survey, people were asked what time in life was your happiest, and people said, instead of saying right now, none of them did, they said in the past or in the future. So what we're doing about it is I ran for office, 2 public offices, knocked on about 40,000 doors, and passed out about 40,000, 50,000 leaflets all across the state. That's why this channel's blowing up. I've been on 4 radio shows in Jackson, Chattanooga, news and articles, and YouTube. We're coming up on 1 million views on YouTube, spreading the message about government corruption, how dirty they are, and getting the word out, trying to hold these people in government power accountable. So we're talking about death, and I wanted to mention y'all that in thinking about death, and I can't afford an attorney. They're too high. In thinking about death, that if you can't afford an attorney, and I'm not telling y'all to do this, but what I've done is you can have a holographic will. The subject is death. If the government kills you, which is not funny, but it might. But you can have a holographic will, handwritten will, Guinness Book of World Records, bedroom will, everything to wife. So I can't afford an attorney, but you can, and it'd be best too to go get a will. But I've wrote out my own will, which is my being of sound mind and body, and put where I want my stuff to go and sign my name to it. If it's your own handwriting, it will avoid probate. It's as good as a will done by an attorney. So you can do your own will. You don't have to go through an attorney. You can write your own will out, and it's as good as an attorney will. So write your own will out if you want to. And the shortest will was on the bedroom wall, everything to wife. A guy wrote that on his bedroom wall. Wrote it in the Guinness Book of World Records. So you can legally write. I did write out my own will. I'm not telling people to do that, but if you want where you want your stuff to go, it's as legal as one you get by a attorney, and you can read online how to do that. I'm not gonna tell you how to do that, but the subject of today's video was on death, and wow, we got 126 people in here, almost 2 hours, and talking about how the government tried to take my life away from me. This is a letter that I wrote my attorney when all this was going on. I went on to another law school. It says, unfortunately had to withdraw from law school voluntarily, non-academic. Officially I had a 2.0 the first semester, and further wrongfully fired me. My GPA went to 1 through 3. Of course, LMU will say it's nothing to do with my previous job, but I think it does. Thanks to DA, Knox County DA, who is involved with school and says my credibility has been destroyed as officer of the court. They could not kick me out for that reason, since my case is pending before court of law in Joke Nichols court, so it's easy to cover up grades. And torts, first semester C+, second semester 20 of 26 correct on multiple choice questions. On the final, worth 80%, still made a D- in that class. Yeah, right. I tried to respectfully at first argue with them about it, and I'm not done yet, but they just made it worse. They are having so much trouble with getting AB. They want more than life. That is all they care about. I hope they don't get it. They ripped me off for over $20,000. They put me in such a hole grade-wise that I could not invest another $10,000 with their agenda toward me. The state of Tennessee, along with DA Nichols, has ruined my reputation. For now, I know you have tried to help me with the school as far as my case is concerned, and I appreciate that. So letting you know the end result, about 2 years of my life gone, I plan to at least apply to national law and see what happens. I was sued when I was a UT police officer, short pursuit not involving wreck, but thought that case might help. I won on summary judgment. The case is attached. The passenger also sued Clifford Bishop, and after federal court trial, I won a jury verdict. I could not find that case. At first, the case was presented in the news media as beating up of a black man by police. It was right after the Rodney King verdict, so Mr. Bishop was trying to cash in. He put me in the position where I had to use force on him. So I did use legal force, so to speak. He got kicked, and the jury said it was okay. I did nothing wrong. The final news reports were jury declared UT police not guilty of 1992 false arrest and beating. Knoxville News, my thought is if the state says bad press over Cicely usually get fired, then the first report showed where the stop took place on 11th and Cumberland Avenue. They said this is where the beating took place. So wait till it goes to court. During research, I read something interesting on how Sergeant Lowell Russell may have gotten promoted. He is the sergeant I originally complained against for ADA. He was the first supervisor on the scene of the pursuit 11/26/2011. The supervisor he called from the scene, Lieutenant Ogle, she was in charge of the FTO program that she took away from me and gave to younger troopers. Some were less than 2 years of service with no education beyond high school and no significant job performance. That was part of the ADA complaint against her. So she had reason to turn the pursuit into something more than it was. I was cleared on the pursuit in 2010. She helped investigate prior to my ADA complaint. In about January 2011, Attorney Steve Oberman requested my personnel file. I had a drunk driver who did not want to go to jail, so I used the minimum force necessary to effect the arrest. He got chemical sprayed and a little road rash. Nothing came of it. It was legal right in front of the camera. The personnel office also contacted me by email, informed me he had requested a copy and said I had a right to a copy if I wanted one. I asked them to send it to me. I have that copy they sent me dated March 21st, 2011, certified mail. So if the state tries to add stuff in my file that was not there then, I should be able to use what they sent me as evidence that they have added this after the fact. For example, there's nothing in my file about getting a verbal warning about my state backup gun being stolen. The last item I copied from the news was recent pursuit to a school zone where people were injured and trooper was disciplined, far less than me. Wonder how old he is or who knows. This one is supposed to be fair across the board. In March 2010, I stopped at a wreck, I-40, where a Jeep had struck a tractor trailer. The Jeep was on fire in the middle of I-40 west at about 386 on the bridge. The driver of the Jeep was so drunk he was still sitting in the driver's seat when I got there, and I got him out of the burning Jeep. So I have rescued drunks from burning vehicles before. There is probability. Video still, KPD work direct. I was on my way to Sergeant Clever when this took place, and I told him what happened. If the news media 2020 calls back, could you tell them in a roundabout way why the victims of the bad press, false light, defamation? A drunk driver who committed a felony. So that was a letter to my attorney in 2011 where they were trying to, where they defamed me and trying to end my life, which they haven't done. We'll keep fighting them. So I want to mention the bed store on Chapman Highway at Moody. The guy let me put my campaign sign up when I was running for city council, and I didn't get enough votes because they've got me in such a hole defaming me. But I am endorsing Becky Jones. You can go vote today. And also I want to mention my company, Safe Taxi. If you need a ride, then in Knoxville, then I'm available. The longer the ride, the better. We may end the company in December of this year because we're not getting enough business. So so if you need a ride, then call. And also I'm available for public speaking. If you want me to speak at your local bar or speak at your church, then I'll be glad to do that. Email me at charlesvanmorgan@gmail.com, and I'll be glad to speak to your church. It's foggy out. Be careful driving. You can see the fog. So here's the view in Knoxville. The bad fog. So we still got 112 people on here. So thank you all. Like, share, comment, and I'm available to speak. If you want me to speak for a small price, I'll be glad to. charlesvanmorgan@gmail.com. Come to the hood, Charlie. It's called Uber if you need a job in December. Yeah. No, thank you. I'm not supporting a corporation. I'm not going to do that. That's a corporation. And if you want to buy my book, The Former Trooper Charles Van Morgan Story, then it's $149. I'll sell it to you. Just email me at charlesvanmorgan@gmail.com and I'll send you the book. And yeah, let me let you have a beautiful view here. So, and if you want a hard copy, I'm not going to print the hard copy until people ask me for the book. So if you want a hard copy, then it's a little more. Email me a hard copy and I'll sign it. Email me at charlesvanmorgan@gmail.com and I'll send you a hard copy for a little more. And anything else to sell? No, but if you got any ideas, put them on here. If you want to buy something, let me know what it is. So let me look at some of the. You defend the badge, you piece of shit. I'm not defending the badge. Come to the hood. It's called Uber. Has heinous the crime he did, letting somebody burn to death and admitting that he was just trying to save face, just getting unbelievable. Yeah, that's not true. I wasn't trying to save face. Everybody should stand for what they believe in. Oh well, that's right, their guess. Good job, Charlie. Thank you. It's called freedom of speech, and we can voice our opinion. That's right. I really don't care about any of this. Okay. You don't have to. So we got almost 100 people. Most of his statements made to be taken as fact cannot be verified by me. It's not possible. A lot of it's subjective, so it relies on your deciding to take his word for the past. No, I'm not. It's not subjective. It's not subjective. It's fact. It's black and white. It's in black and white. This is the same guy they cheered when Obama was deporting millions of illegals. I have no idea what that means. So, Dreamer, it's Broom, and once again, you're successfully played yourself. I have no idea what you're talking about. Does any of it matter if facts are verified, which is your job to verify them in the manner in which they were brought to your attention has no bearing? Facts are corrupt as everywhere. Okay, I don't understand what he's saying. Dreamer, I actually know you better than you know yourself. So people on here are arguing with each other. Okay, that's okay. And if he is just doing this because it's right, why didn't he go ahead till after they pushed him out? I was doing what was right when they pushed me out. I was arresting more drunk drivers than anybody in the state, keeping the roads safe. And he got burned and pushed out by them in part because of that, and so now he wants to take them down for pushing him out. That's not true. That's false. False propaganda. Yes, you can put all cops in the same together, because if you're a cop, you know a dirty cop. Yeah, they didn't arrest them. So how it says, I don't understand what that says. So Google Charles for yourself. Okay, yeah, Google. Believe Google. Yeah, believe what Google says. That's the way to go. So we thank y'all. 107 people in here, and I appreciate it. Today's show was on the subject of death. You'll see the Grim Reaper icon, and talk about how the state is trying to kill you. The state would like you dead, and they are killing you every day at a rate of about 3 officer killings a day. Not all of them are justified, and they're killing you by closing down hospitals, and they're killing little children by taking them off TennCare. And right now they're starving people to death by closing down the food stamp program. So the real harm to society is not your thug on the street. It is people in government power that are dangerous to you. So let's look, give you a view of the, probably can't see anything. This is Knoxville right now. Pretty foggy out. Be careful driving. Be careful driving. Don't take my word for it. Yeah. So this guy here wants you to Google, and yeah, I mean, you can Google anything you want to, and or you can take somebody's word for it that's been on the scene, that knows what happened. So we're going to probably cover a protest tomorrow. Unbridled News. We're going to go to a protest tomorrow on Market Square, where people are protesting TVA. They're speaking out against TVA's building the pipeline, and they're speaking out against the pipeline for TVA. From what I read in the papers, they're alleging that the company that they've hired to build the pipeline is dangerous, that they've had several environmental hazardous things happen. So they're protesting the TVA building I think it's about a 100-mile pipeline. And we're going to go, the only way you know what's really going on is not read Google or not read the newspaper, is boots on the ground, and everybody can't go themselves, so we'll go for you, is boots on the ground, and ask people and look for yourself, have a camera there and ask people what's going on up live and in person. And when you do that, then you know what's going on. And you can even look at a video of what they got happening, and they will tell you how to look at the video, how to read the video. They'll tell you what you see, instead of interpreting things for yourself. And I will tell you what happened as I see it, unbridled. I won't lie to you. They'll lie to you. A bunch of dirty liars. People in the news. Okay, I got kicked off there for a second. We're gonna go with boots on